Hello, everybody. This is the old bear from the Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot. Uh, there's quite a few videos that we've done over this past 6 months, and we thought since it's a new year, we would go through some of them that's had a lot of views and had a lot of questions, comments from you viewers, and we would do an update on some of them. So we are glad to have you, and we're going to start off with the second video that we ever did. It's titled Bigfoot Wants Big Buck Killed by Bow Hunter. The update on that video, if you want to know the content of it, you can go back and watch it. It's the second video we did. It was done 6 months ago. It's about 13 minutes long. What has happened in that video, the gentleman has decided to never go back into where he had the sighting of the Bigfoot and where he killed the buck at. He no longer hunts in there. He stays away from there. He found out that they came to his home and took the buck away from him, which he didn't live just a very few miles away from there. They came in across his back fence because the back of his house butts up against a little stretch of woods that comes through there in between two subdivisions, and it looks like they came in and took his buck from him. So the gentleman doesn't do any hunting back in there, and he stays away from that area. Now this next video we're going to do update on, it's called Peeping Bigfoot Has Family Scared. Now this is the one everybody had questions on, concerns. They were worried about those two Bigfoot that were coming in and doing unmentionable things, staring at the driver's wife and his teenage daughter. Well, since this happened, I'm going to put it to you bluntly, both of the big male Bigfoot, the big alpha male, and the big beta male no longer breathe. They came in and threatened the driver. He was home on a weekend. It was him and his wife, and he was sitting on the back deck. His wife went in and took we all know women take long hot baths, and that's what she was doing. She got out of the tub, and that Bigfoot was out there outside the window, and he saw it. He stepped back in the home. He had purchased a large caliber rifle to go hunting with, and that Bigfoot saw him and started towards him and growled at him, and it dropped to all fours and went running at him. And when it went running at him, he shot in front of it. It stood up, it started beating its chest, and started growling and coming at him. And he told it to leave. He screamed at it, told it to get out of there, or he's going to have to shoot it. And this thing kept coming. He got within 15 to 20 feet of him at the max, still growling, baring its teeth, and beating on its chest, and he ended up shooting it. Then the other male come out, the big beta male. I guess it was the oldest son of this male, and it brought a tree limb with it, beating the ground. It came running at him with the tree, dragging the tree limb behind it, and slung the tree limb at him, and he ended up having to shoot that one too. Now the rest of the family came in and pulled those Bigfoot out. So if you want to know any more, you can contact me, and if you've got concerns because somebody had to shoot two Bigfoot, well, it was threatening his home, looking at his wife and his daughter as a sexual object, and you can't let that go on. That is a clear sign of aggression on their part, and them having ill intent for his wife and daughter. So you can't let that go on. You have to take care of the situation. And if you have a problem with it, I'm sorry, but it was dealt with in whatever way you saw fit. Okay, let's go on up through here. Let's go to the next one that needs an update. The skeptic sees Bigfoot and now knows the truth. Now, this gentleman, he knows of a he knows they're around his home. He doesn't interact with them. If they come around, he don't acknowledge them. Doesn't do anything about them, and he hasn't had any trouble with them. So there's nothing going on around. No problems whatsoever with him. If there becomes a problem at some time, he knows to call, and we will deal with it in whatever way needs to be dealt with, whether it's add lights to his house or whatever. And that's usually the first thing I tell people to do. But if it gets to the point, like in the last video I was talking about, then we'll have to deal with it in the best way possible for him and his family. Let's go on here. Let's see. Skeptical of Bigfoot until he sees one on his way home. Well, that gentleman still lives in the subdivision down there where he lives in Tennessee, and he doesn't have any trouble. He hasn't seen any. He's heard a few screams around his home down there because it's kind of out in the sticks a little bit. He hasn't seen any more, but he has heard him scream at night, and that's about it. There's nothing going on around his house. He doesn't have any trouble. Well, here's the one everybody had a problem with, it seemed. They want to know why he didn't take pictures if this went on for 6 weeks. Let me put it to you this way. It's the title of it is Bigfoot runs Indiana family out of their rental home. They moved away from there. The last straw was a Bigfoot throwing a tree limb through the window, the kitchen window, while him, his wife, and the kids, and his mother-in-law were all in the kitchen. That was the last straw. The very next day, they gathered all their stuff up and moved out. That rental home is not rented right now. As far as I know, it's not rented. It was rented for a short time, and nothing happened. And then stuff started happening again, and those people moved out. The owner of the home will not rent it out. He's been screamed at. He has been, rocks have been thrown at him while he was getting out of his car. So he has boarded the house up and will not rent the home. Here's a very interesting case. A Bigfoot 9 foot tall and another close to 12 foot tall. The update on that video is that property where these two Bigfoot were seen, and I do believe these were of the Genoskwa type, where they eat men, women, and children. They are non-discriminate on what type of person they eat. That property has been closed off. It has a gate up across it now. It's posted. We went up there to go check it out, and it was gated and posted. Not allowed in there no more. You can't go in there at all. If you're caught in there, you can be arrested. Seeing as how it is old mine property, and evidently the federal government has taken an interest in it, and they won't let no one in there. So if you want to know where it's at, I'm not going to tell you. For the simple fact is, I don't want none of my viewers going to jail. I care about all of you, and I don't want y'all in trouble. Don't want any of you to come up missing and be food for a Bigfoot. Let's go with this one. Bigfoot makes a friend. The gentleman that had the dealings with the Bigfoot that seemed to have maybe Down syndrome or was maybe some mental retardation or something to it. He has seen those Bigfoot again. That young male that came out there and was standing out there making all those noises and hand gestures and everything comes by. He said maybe once every 2 months or 3 months, and just comes and watches and then walks off. Evidently, the male and female, the father and mother of that one, has no problem with it coming by every once in a while. Said he'll see it, when he was out cutting grass, or he saw it once when he was raking leaves in his backyard, and it's not any trouble. You don't even hear him scream at night or anything, so there's no trouble with that one. Oh, here's another one. Bigfoot and werewolf fight. Well, in that one, those two couples have never been back camping in the area where they were at. They don't go camping anymore unless it's a open area. They have decided never ever to go back to where they saw these two creatures fighting. And the two husbands went back once, and they got run out of there by a Bigfoot. So they have reserved themselves to stay away from wooded areas when they go camping, and now they go camping in trailers, not a tent. Don't know how much better that would be. It just give you a little more time to possibly, if something come after you, to shoot it a few more times, or not to be dragged out of a tent. But other than that, that's all I can tell you about that one. They don't want to talk about it and try not to talk about it today. Let's do the skunk apes and fishermen. Those three gentlemen no longer go fishing up that tributary there in Florida, and they have not been back up that tributary. They refuse to go in there. Some buddies of theirs have asked them to go in there with them because the fishing was so good. They would rather go and catch nothing all day than go in there and catch something all day long. So that's the only update that I have on that one. I haven't talked to them in a couple of months, and I'll try to contact them again and see if anything has changed, but the last update was they refused to go back in there where those skunk apes were. They want nothing to do with it. They stay out of there. They refuse to go in there fishing for any reason whatsoever. Okay, let's do the bear hunter and a Bigfoot. The update on that one is the guy has been back in there bear hunting. Since then, he's had no trouble, so evidently the Bigfoot have moved out. Although he suspects that maybe they come in there during certain parts of the year, because they went in there and bear hunted this past hunting season and had no troubles. So evidently the Bigfoot have moved out. The bear have moved back in. The deer are in there, squirrels, turkeys, everything is in there like it was before, and they have no more trouble. But if something changes, we'll let you know. Let's find something here. Let's go with the one for Bigfoot scares a 12-year-old girl. This was a long time ago when this happened, and as far as I know, the family doesn't live in that area now. They've all, the little girl has grown up, and she's moved out of there. They haven't had any troubles in there lately. Other than that, that's about it. Bigfoot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I talked to this gentleman quite a bit. The Bigfoot have seemed to move away from his home and moved a few miles down the road. He can hear him scream at night, late at night. There isn't a whole lot that other than that has changed. Sometimes he says that he gets a feeling that they're back, but evidently they're not bothering him or anything around his home. So they are leaving him alone. He's leaving them alone. Let's see here. The interview that we did in Cave City, Kentucky. I've tried to contact that gentleman quite a few times. I can't get him on his cell phone. I can't reach him at all. I've been sending him emails. I've tried to text him. I've tried to call him. Can't reach him at all. And he was an older gentleman. And I'm worried about him. So if you see this video, sir, please call me. Pick up your phone, call me, whatever, let me know how you're doing. We're worried about you. We would like to talk to you just to check on you and see how you're doing. And if you've been sick, we'll be praying for your health, your full recovery. And but do call me. Let's see, the Bigfoot in Wisconsin. This is kind of funny. This gentleman that was in there and saw the Bigfoot, saw the little one getting admonished by the big one. And both of them just, seeing him and walking off. He still fishes in the same cove. He's never, and sometimes he's never had rocks thrown at him lately. But he hears whistles in the woods and hears owls that are not actual owls during the middle of the day. So he believes they're still there. They still watch him, but they don't do what they were doing. So he still loves fishing there. And he has the attitude of, as long as they don't bother me, I won't bother them. And that's the way he looks at it. And here's an update on the Cherokee Forest Bigfoot. That gentleman is no longer allowed to go in there where those Bigfoot were. His wife forbids him from going in there. His buddy no longer takes jobs at him. In fact, he is the taker of a few jokes from his buddy and his buddy's wife. His wife believes in him now. She was a full-blown skeptic. Didn't believe her husband the first time, but after her seeing him, she did believes now. After his buddy went in there, after him and his wife went in there, he believes now too. So there are some more believers in this world. The video of a father and daughter's experience. Well, they are getting ready to go back in there to hunt mushrooms, and they are going to not go in there unarmed anymore. If they feel something is watching them, they know to get out of there now. If they have, and they've been back there since then, and they saw something walk across in front of the parking lot. It was dark. They didn't know what it was, but it was big, well over 5 foot tall, close to 9 foot tall, and well, they now know that there's Bigfoot in the area where they go hunting mushrooms, and they're going to take all precautions. They're not going to go in there if they feel funny or strange. and they're more careful now, and they both believe now. The video about the two lady truckers see a Sasquatch. Those two ladies, I have talked to them since we did the video, and they don't like to take anything going through on 40 through the gorge between Asheville and the junction of I-40 and I-81. They don't go through there unless it's daylight. So they know what they saw, and they don't go in there unless it's daytime. The retiring driver sees a Bigfoot at 2:30 a.m. He is retired. He no longer drives truck, and I hope he's having a wonderful retirement. And I've talked to him, and he's happy. He's no longer driving truck. He's happy that he's home. He's dealing with his retirement very well, and he's doting over his grandchildren. And that's the one thing you wanted to do. Him and his wife travel a little bit, and they have fun, and they stay away from that part of North Carolina. Oh, the live show with the Southern Belle. Well, while we were down there, she had no trouble afterwards. But her house got slapped here not too long ago, and she believes they're coming back around and watching her. And she's found some new evidence that if you want to see, you can go to Discord and see it on my Discord. And that's pretty much where she stands at right now. We have told her that she should try to move because they seem to be zeroing in on her because she is a blonde. And if you got blonde hair, they seem to zero in on blondes a lot. The males do. And so if you're blonde, you go in the woods by yourself, you're asking for trouble. That's what I can tell you. Anyway, that's all I can tell you about the Southern Belle. And the lady driver and the pit sparrow Bigfoot. The lady driver, she doesn't have that run anymore. She has a completely different route that she runs. She doesn't go over in that area. And if she has to go in that area, she goes during the daylight and gets out there in the daylight. She don't leave in the dark. She don't go in the dark. So she doesn't have any more trouble. But if you're a driver and you get out to check your truck at night, the best thing I can tell you to do is take a very strong flashlight, try to stop in a well-lit area, and don't get out in right next to the forest, and you shouldn't have no troubles. Let's do the one about the Bigfoot seen in Montana. That gentleman that I spoke to when I was in Montana, he is going back in there to hunt in that area this coming fall. And I wish him luck. And he's not had any trouble. He's not been back in there since, but he's going back this coming fall. And if he has any trouble or sees one, he's going to give me a call and let me know. Okay. The one titled, "This is not a video for anyone under 18 years old." that happened quite a few years ago. It involved me and some, and not in a great part. It involved me. I got stuck in that situation. I've had no trouble. Nobody has come to my door. No one has went to that gentleman's door. I've spoke to him within the last 2 weeks. He's had no trouble. He's not been stopped. He's not been bothered. So they don't know who it was, which is a good thing. And this will be the last one we do for an update, because this is the only one that I have for an update. The last of the Ohio grassman sighted while dragging a deer. The buddy of mine, he still hunts in Ohio. He still lives in Ohio. He has never been back to that place. I have not been back there. But the farmer that I spoke to, they still have them there. They know about them. They hear them. They have seen them. They have seen them kill deer. And pretty much everybody stays out of that area. They don't go in there. They don't bother them. So they've not had any interactions with humans, and which would probably be a good thing. So for the updates, that will conclude our updates. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to email me and contact me, and I will gladly answer your questions. Y'all have a wonderful year, and we will see y'all on the next video.